doing super well today. Hello. Another day at it. Gonna do some inking today. I'm here in a stained shirt. All over the shop. And we've got some inking to do. Also gonna see how this plays with you know what? No, we're not. We're gonna do another experiment. So I was gonna see how this played with I was going to see how this played with Discord, but Discord is not where I'm going to be today. What I am going to be doing is sorting out some inking. What I mostly want to do is find where the mapping stuff is, and I just found it. So so these were the ones I was after. So I've got all of this to go on with. Oh, yep. I'm a little bit further back than I usually am. Like, I've got like pencils and pencils and pencils and just so much stuff, and I have look, the good news is I found it nice and quick. This is one of about half a dozen pencil cases of varying sizes that I have. You know, I've got my those are probably the two main ones that I've just shown you, all zero of you. Yeah. So, in the interest of carrying on with something, so I've had not had a particularly good time of it of late. Maybe that's where we go. Yeah, I don't know. Let's have a quick look at these. Test function and test size. Okay. Just having one of those days where life is a bit difficult. So you'd go okay, so final one up there. That one. Alright. And then 0.1 and point. So you'd go 0.3 and 0.1. Yeah, okay. 0.3, 0.1. Okay, that should be that. My brain isn't. I'm not having a good brain day. I get these days. So yesterday, yeah, I turned the wrong hot plate on. Yesterday and cooked my that's better. Had to alter the angle of the fan because the fan was blowing. I usually have the fan over like behind the, so where this photo is, there's a drawing tablet up on it, and I and I usually have the fan behind that, but I've moved that so that there's more airflow getting to me. Catch is more airflow means more movement. So we adapt. I turned the wrong hot plate on. Cooked my kettle seat, like the base part of the electric kettle. And that has, it's a good example of how sort of out of sorts I am when little things like that happen. Stuff like that makes me think I'm neurodivergent, and it also fosters paranoia, because it's like that idea that the more sort of worn down you are, the more fucked up you are, the more you're gonna get, the more likely you're going to mess things up. And then the more you mess things up, the worse things are gonna get. Yeah, but then the counter side is it's not a major fuck up. As things go, it could have been a lot worse. I could have burned the house down. I could have, all sorts of things could have happened, but they didn't. So yeah, not too bad, but just a sign that I'm a bit out of sorts. I didn't sleep. I haven't slept well for the last couple of nights at all. I've been in a fair bit of distress at night. I've had a few things happening externally and internally. That haven't been great, but I'm here. I'm working with them. I'm trying to get out of my head a bit more with these sorts of things, doing this sort of physical work. Right? So I don't want to just sit here and discuss, like, ruminate on things. I did get out of bed, so my sleep's been very broken. Today's Tuesday. Come Sunday, a few things went down. Mentally, emotionally, financially, even, that have just caused some upset. I'm not going to go into them again, but I basically have had very broken sleep since about Sunday night. I got up at 3 o'clock this morning. And journaled about a few things, and that was actually the reason I mention it here is because that was actually quite useful as far as, like, helping me unburden and get back to rest. But the thing is, I've noticed journaling about stuff that's, like, bad and less than pleasant and all of this. No, I don't want to do that. Oh, that's what was... So I'm going to go through now. So this is Death Deep Rift. With, oh yeah, we've got the line there. So this is the city of Hallow. And I'm just going through and inking in the bigger parts, the more major parts in the thickest pen that I have, or at least the thickest pen that I have in popular rotation. Maybe another couple of the larger ones. just for now, that's a good starting spot. For the broader lines, I think. Doesn't want to stand up. That's interesting. Yeah, so ooh, the doing the trees is always one of my favourite things. I kind of like the way that I've worked out how to do trees. I think it's because it's very my style. And just a little something that I worked out how to do, like all on my own. I think it's the most personalized thing that I've ever sort of worked out with mapping wise is my style of trees. Um, and I think it's sort of, it looks all right. I think it fits in with my aesthetic pretty well. Um, this will also probably be the densest part of the inking, so we're swallowing the frog here a little bit. The sun's come out. Had some horrendous weather here lately. Not horrendous as in like it's not been particularly hot or cold. It's just we don't know if it's coming or going. I've had two fairly solid rain showers here since I've been awake, but I've had like three lots of sunshine, like full blaze sunshine. The like the rain bursts just come through, and yeah, it's all dismal and rainy. It's a real sort of London afternoon. and then half an hour later, 20 minutes later, it's all it's all sunny. It's funny. That's funny. It's funny when it's sunny. The style of these trees actually makes me wonder. Because, I've put in up here, this is meant to be like a rock. Like this is a cavern. Look at my... Fuck, I've got a tremor. Got a tremor today. You can sort of see it starting to come in. That's what I was going to do. I'm going to put some music on. Want to see if this works through does anything to the mic or the sound or anything. I don't think it will, but we'll see. I think you can hear that, can't you? Maybe can we just turn it? Maybe we just turn it down a little bit. I think that's our little corner done. So the idea is that the city, so inner cavern, spooky shit, outer cavern, main part of the city, but also the juxtaposition. The point of difference here is that most of the inner city inside is actually abandoned 4/5 of the year, and then people live on the outside of it, even though they're being hunted inside, like this line here, the line of Estero. is a magical ward that projects from the mouth, so the bottleneck region, out over this to the line. And the people who are here, who are the only sort of unpossessed by horrible spirits people left in the world, live here 4/5 of the year, and then they all go inside. The inside is reserved for new refugees for the rest of the year, and then when the season of atrocities hits, the Aurora Infinita is in the sky. That's when everyone goes inside and weathers the bullshit. The fucking the horrors that come. I think this might be the one I do the most work with, actually. I actually really enjoy the inking phase as well. Like, it's nice to just, like, the initial draft, like the pencils are really good fun. But it's also, like, surprisingly intensive on your grey matter. Especially once you learn a couple of things. Like, I've always done the maps. I actually really enjoy the process of them. It wasn't always this involved, and this also is this is also much more detailed than I used to, and I didn't even come by this method of mapping. This is actually I took Devon Rue's course back in the day from Critical Role. This was even before it was a Patreon thing. I see that she's put it on Patreon now, which is great. She deserves. It's an extremely useful course, and it was sort of. I think what I've done is I've done the adaptation thing, right? Like I'm taking this and sort of running with it. Um, let's do a couple of houses and see how they look. How does that one look up against? There's a tiny difference there, not much of one, but it's all adds a bit of character. Right. Yeah, you can sort of tell that's a slightly bigger building. Still not enough variation though, so I won't do all of the houses in this. Maybe do a different line weight once I get to the humpies in here. But yeah, no, it is nice to sort of do the inking after doing the groundwork. And I think you know what? I'm gonna shut up. I'm not gonna talk too much, because then I start thinking about it, and the object is not to think too much. It's just to turn off and have fun. a bit of a tremor today. So I did a bit of a workout yesterday. That was another thing to get me out of my head, and that was really good. I think the idea is that I keep doing that stuff. Yeah, I feels good. I think I'm moving into a phase of life. Maybe that's a bit of a broad term for it, but I am using all of the things that I brought, even to the point where it's pens, pencils, texters, crayons. And I don't have heaps of workout equipment, but I do have non-zero amounts of workout equipment. Gonna brick my phone. Nothing happens on my phone. Nothing ever really happens on my phone. That's good anyway, particularly. What I mean is, like, when I'm just checking it randomly. Like, obviously, if I get a phone call from someone I like and care about and all of those sorts of things, I mean, that's obviously good. But yeah, like literally, I would say 95% of the time, just picking up my phone and like getting on Instagram doesn't do anything for me. It's not like I come away with some amazing piece of knowledge. I can actually, there's literally been one thing that's happened in the last, I would say, maybe 6 months. That's been good. The one piece of knowledge, maybe two, that's come out of Instagram in particular, and that's literally the only piece of knowledge that I could think of. That is that's been really properly helpful to me. Okay, we'll go down here with it, hey? We'll do the main, there's some kind of calling the main road. And I don't know the two things I'm not 100% sure of in this map. Whether or not I like the way that the roads are done. I think it actually fits Hallow as a city of like ramshackle. It's a bit ramshackle. It's refugees. It's people from all over the continent of Razgoth, right? Sort of filing in, setting up wherever they can once they've been sort of accepted by the cavern, I guess, is... I like the way the roads are a bit sort of chaotic and it's just this sort of loose collection of buildings out the side here. I like the way the roads do fit. The what the catch is that I don't know if it's going to work for other places. I think other places I might need to do like these. This is a road. There's a road around the edge there and leading down through the forest. Like that might have to be the way the roads are. Like these first details in here, they're roads through fields. So, I don't know. I think I might have to be more structured with roads in other places. I'm not sure. More random writing ideas coming in. You do sometimes feel like you're not writing enough, especially when you're spending hours streaming. But I think part of the weirdness of this world we live in is that weirdly this will allow me to actually write better and more. Ooh, I think I actually really like the farmland when it's inked. I think I actually really like that. Ooh. Ah. It's another thing that I'm finding is that like it's the little imperfections that can make something. Um, you don't always want to be pin sharp. I got a dud line in there. But, you know, and look at these. None of these are no two are the same size. Um, you know, but that's part of those little imperfections are what make these sorts of things, right? Like, that's what I'm finding. You don't want it to look like complete dog shit, but the signs that someone has attempted perfection is better than perfection. Because perfection, as I'm pretty sure it was Leonardo da Vinci said, perfection, have no fear of perfection. Of perfection, you'll never attain it. Might have been him or Dali. Because yeah, I want to see where someone spent their time and their effort, sort of trying to nut out something. And those little imperfections help me see that. Ooh. What what I like about this is that it's that visual language. This is so much. This farmland is so distinguishable from the forest. Like, you can tell. I can never tell how well you can see stuff on stream. Oh, hit a. That was something to do with the paper then. I mean, and I'll also get better at this. This is the first time I've done a proper map in quite a while. And I know this is also taking a long time, but I'm okay with that actually, and I think that more of it needs to happen. I think we need to be doing less efficient work with these sorts of things. These sorts of things, again, there are places, there's a place for everything. I think what a lot of people don't understand is that the best things come from experiments and less than perfect places and all of that sort of thing, right? Now, there's not that much difference between this one and your 0.3, so I'm actually not going to do anything else down here with that one. I think there's a little bit of variation between the 0.3 and the 0.3 and the 0.1, but there's not much difference between the 0.1 and the 0.25. I think they could be used interchangeably. And now we're going to try the 0.03. I think this is where we're going to start getting into the stippling and the Wraithmere Marsh and things like that. Are these the... I don't know if these are the refillable ones. The Copics. Let's give them a shot. Oh yeah, see, that's quite a bit different to the thicker ones. So this is where we're getting down into... It's a little bit scratchy, but we're gonna roll with it. I think we're getting to the point where it's... less. It's not as wide as the lead that I'm tracing over, so there might be a little bit of, like, I don't know, that sounds like something that there should be a name for. The like having to go over it twice in because the lead, the overwrite's not enough, which is something I will note, because I can't imagine it's going to be getting much easier with the 0.5. Yeah, see, it's getting worse. Okay, that's interesting to note. Let's see how it goes with... See, it's thin enough to do. Do our misty details, our spoopy stuff. But it's still... Maybe I'm not putting the weight that I need on. Yeah, this is starting to get a little bit rough. Because as I'm having to put more pressure on, which is changing the appearance of the thing. So I might give this one a rest. It's also... I don't know if I was actually really happy with how that looked. I might have to try these fighter ones without the pencil. And this is a 0.05. So 0.03. Come on. Oh, that's... Oh, I think we've had a... Oh, no. There it goes. Okay, so you've got to be quite up and down with this one. Maybe that was the... Maybe that was the issue. You've got to be quite... I guess that makes sense. My head's actually getting quite hot as well, so... Okay. This is interesting. Maybe... Okay. So I think for the thinner ones, the thinner you go, the more vertically you've got to hold the point. Yeah, okay. And I quite like... I'm liking this. This is good. I might go back and try our other one. Just hold it with a vertical grip. It's enough. I love that big clear line against the... Oh, my ears are getting hot. It's looking alright. I don't mind that. It makes me wonder if the grip is... Oh, see, that's a bit better. Whew. Okay, got to be very, very precise with these ones. See, and then you go. There's like more deliberate stippling. Okay. I'm actually going to go back to the 0.3 and see what that's like. I'm not seeing a whole bunch of difference. Maybe if we... Let's try this again. Okay, so maybe this one's finer. Again. Still having problems with the lead, but I think this grip is a bit better. It's even finer, so that's actually finer than the in the 0.5. Makes sense, 0.3 of a millimeter. Okay. So I think that's... So, yeah. I don't know, that 0.03 might be a little bit fine. And maybe use the 0.25 and the 0.3. Okay. Just got an email that I gotta click a button for. Oh. Alright. So yeah, use the 0.3. use the 0.3 for... So I think I'm going to go back to the 0.25. I think I could probably ink a whole map with the 0.1. So I'm gonna... Actually, maybe I should be recording this shit as well. There we go. I lost a whole pencil yesterday as well. Well, not a whole pencil, but like a pencil. I could swear that it was sitting here and then it just... And I even went and I was like, wait a second. I was sitting here, there's the last thing I wrote, was sitting like just here. And then I got up and I went to the kitchen, which is like literally 3 feet that way. And then I sat down, and that's the only thing I've done, and I wouldn't have taken the pencil to the kitchen, so it must be sitting within this spot, and I cannot find it for the life of me. Yeah. Fun stuff. Anyway. So, lines. Weights. 0.3. Bigger. 0.1. 0.25. Main. 0.25. Slightly. Which one is like... It's a 0.1. It's a 0.25. Oh, shit. Okay. and then that's a 0.3. See, this is definitely, you know, yeah. Okay. So the point, so use the point 0.1, 0.25, 0.3. Slightly bigger. So okay, that actually, so those would be the main two. And then zero point 0.3, well, 0.03, 0.05. So 0.3 of a millimeter, 0.5 of a millimeter. So 0.3, 0.5. So 0.5, 0.3, stippling. So big to small. 0.3, 0.25, 0.1, 0.05, 0.03. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. I think you could probably get away with mapping a whole map with those two, and then doing something with those. I think that might be the way we're gonna go. And then there's even bigger stuff, you know. I mean, this is a 2mm or something. I don't even know because I've masking taped. This is one of the things about OCD, right? I know why I put the masking tape on there, because these have all been used. I experimented with them for a little bit, and then I went, okay, I'll put masking tape on them so I know which ones are which. And then you come back, and I know I can just take the masking tape off, but it's just one of those funny little things. It's like, oh, okay, like, it makes sense, and I know why I did it, but it just, yeah. All right. Look at that. It's grown. It's grown a bit. I'm going to keep going this session and just finish up the last couple of buildings outside here. And I think I might actually... I've got to do the fence as well. That's actually why I was... There's your... So that's the observatory, which is right over the gate. And I think we might go back to the 0.1. Seems to be the best tool for the job. And we're just gonna... We'll finish off these last few bits and pieces. Yeah, we're learning things. And these are where I need to learn things. these sorts of setups. And then you do little okay, yeah, we're getting things worked out, and I think you could do. It's not going to be bad looking. I could probably go push the line variation a little bit more. I'm sure there's other stuff in that pencil case that I can play with, and I think this is part of like experimentation. This is part of the fun of of art and stuff is just, yeah, figuring out what's good, what techniques are okay, what line weights are the best. Like there's and again, this is part of the, like, I know this is a black and white, you know, it's a very basic piece of work, really. At least sort of technically it is. There's not going to be any colours. I am thinking of doing coloured maps. I have done some coloured maps in the past, but they're very basic. You know, it is funny because I was the only kid in my grade who didn't take art as a class. And it wasn't because I didn't like art. I studied arts at uni. But there were other subjects that I wanted to take more. Which is funny because then I got into photography and I'm now drawing pictures on the internet. Okay. Yeah, so it turns out this is actually the best thing to use for these. Just did that. Let's do everything outside the door. And I think that's getting close to being everything outside the door. Yeah, it's looking like everything except for these few details up here. So we're gonna starting to get a little bit worn out, I think. I think I'm gonna go for a walk this afternoon. The weather looks like it's gonna be holding. What am I even doing on my phone? What was I gonna look at the weather? Yeah, weather's gonna hold, so I'm gonna go for a bit of a walk. Once I get this bit of stuff out of the way, we're coming into the last part of the stippling, at least for the outside. one dot at a time. Thank you, Torchwood. Are you still here? No. Thank you. It's it looks better when it's inked. It looks much better when it's inked. Yeah, but thank you. Yeah, it's yep. Thank you. There's a bit of lag. I think I'm still. I think I might have an OBS setting or something that's like I've got a delay or something. I don't need a delay because this is pretty much what I'm doing. But yeah, it might take a bit for the interactions to come through. Anyway, yes, thank you. I penciled it in on other streams, and this is. I mean, you can see that's the pencil. I'm doing everything up to this line here at the moment because yeah, I've been at it for what are we looking at? 2 hours, so 1 hour and 55 minutes, and yeah, I'm just finishing up because I've gonna go out and go for a walk. The beautiful the weather's not been amazing here, so but at the moment the sun is shining, so I'm gonna go out and move my feet. I'm also learning. These super fine liners are they're good fun. Wow, they're fun. But they do, like, even if you have the pen on a little bit of an angle, they get a bit scratchy and crotchety. Yeah. I almost thought that the drawing over the lead pencil was messing up the ink, but it turned out I was just holding the pen at too much of an angle. But yeah, I've got one more, two, couple more little bits in this part of the map to do. I've got some staircases, a couple of tunnels. Okay. And I think that might actually be it for the moment. Oh no, I've got a couple of... Okay. I think that's it for the time being. We've inked in pretty much all of the outside. Yeah. I think we're good for that. So those will be the three. I was messing around with these other two. The other two are... So if you're still here, Torchwood, I'm mainly doing this as like a motivation. Yeah, right. Funny you. Let's give it a shot. You're the only participant I've had for a few sessions, so give me a moment and I'll see if I can zoom in. I will be uploading more of these. Oh wait. Okay. So I've got the camera software up, and let's see if we can... I don't know, like that's not super zoom, but that's the... Maybe that's a bit better. I really should check that sort of thing. So I'm doing this as a bit of a play-by-play. It's also motivation for me to actually do these sorts of things. That's the map. Well, this is another part of the the stream, is playing with the the setup that I've got, I guess, you know. We can yeah, have a look. I will be what I might actually do, I might put a comment in once I've uploaded, once I've finished the stream and put this on YouTube, I'll put a link to my, like, the mapping Instagram or whatever, and I will or my gaming RPG my RPG Instagram, and I'll have some actual, like, proper zoomed in, properly lit shots there. I'm this, yeah, this sort of thing is a bit of a bane of my existence. I could show you others if you want. I've got others here. I'll do here. Give me a moment. I'll zoom out a little tiny bit just so we can get a little bit more length. But I mean, that's the rough map. I've got that up on the. These are all rough things. You know, these are other maps that I've done for other games. I haven't quite gotten to the point of inking these yet, but you know, we're looking. That's a city with the sort of the main. It's a plateau in the middle, surrounded by lakes. You can see lakes around the edge, and there's a school in the middle. These aren't. I mean, these are duds. Here's one I actually got to inking. Another one, sort of same but different. This is all inside a mountain though. I got to the point where I'd actually label, which is the last thing I usually do for maps, is labeling. Yeah. This islands, so it was all islands, because that was, so there's the caldera. It was inside a volcano. There's a caldera with all these sort of the chimneys of the volcano would sort of feed down. The caldera had a lake in it, and it would feed down. And this is basically a big river that ran out of the bottom of the volcano, and people had set up shop in there. I really appreciate your comments, Torchwood. I find, I mean, you know, it took me a couple of attempts to get to that one. That's the caldera side on, but they've had a cave in. One side of the caldera caved in. Yeah, I think the idea is that you just, okay, and here's where we get, like, it's the Western Wilds. This was one of the, and you know, you can see the line work in there. It's all individual lines. There it is, the Western Wilds, because I didn't get around to labeling it. But yeah, just it takes me. I think there's one in here. I probably won't show you all of them, but yeah, these are all. I think, yeah, this one. So there's a couple of others, but this one is probably the one I'm. It's definitely the one that I played the most in, and I think the whole game took place in like that area there, like just in the middle. But there were people like you. I usually zoom out a bit when I'm doing the map, so you can have a sense of like who's coming from where. Um, yeah, and this took me. I want to say this took me maybe a week from go to woe, doing a bit every day. I don't think I could sit here. I don't think I was sitting here for like 2 hours a day, like I've been doing today. But this took me about a week to do. Um, yeah, yeah. I'd go with Phantasmagorical. It's it's my own. So I took Devon Rue's style. I did Devon Rue. She was the mapper for Critical Role. I've never seen a an episode of Critical Role in my life. I haven't been able to escape the clips and whatnot, but Devon Rue did a couple of maps for Critical Role, I believe, but before she did that, she was just like in the fantasy mapping community. Um, you're too kind. You're too kind. Um, yeah. And I did Devon Rue's mapping course back when it was like video on demand. It's in it's on her Patreon now, and I don't have the income to support any Patreon anymore, so it's locked off to me. But I did take the course, and this was the style that I ended up coming out with. So it's always evolving. I know I put the mountains. I put those a bit closer together these days. But yeah, that's how I also notice. So I got weird weird things. There are some things that stick out to me that I don't. They're not bad. I think it sits together as a cohesive piece, but like how the mountains are isometric and the trees are top down in this one. Little things like that, but I think it sticks together, and I think my visual language is quite good. But yeah, it's that's how it goes. But yeah, these are well, that's probably everything that I've managed to complete so far. You know, that's the caldera. The mansions around the top. The nobility lives in the slopes. They had a cave in. There's an island in the middle, and that floats down. There's locks, like tunnels, the chimneys that drain the lake into the river underneath, and then there's like a volcano druid that lives down the switchback. Just, yeah, things. Things that work. Anyway, thank you very much for being here, Torchwood. I think you're the only participant that I have at the moment. I mean, I can talk more about all these things, but yeah, this is the one that I mean, even now, just looking at those other ones and then looking at this, I can see sort of evolutions in how I'm working. But yeah, so next time, so I'm gonna be back. I don't know, Torchwood, if you're around on Thursday afternoon, Brisbane time, I'll be here, and I'm gonna be inking in. I'll probably ink in this last bit here and start labeling things. I've not ever labeled something, or I don't know, it might be a short stream and then I take some photos to quote unquote scan in, and start labeling it in Affinity and all of that sort of thing. And then it all goes up on World Anvil. And that'll be the starting point, and then I can go from there. I'm trying to sort of formalize my world, but yeah, this is the starting point. So anyway, I've got to head off. You've come in, Torchwood, right at the sort of raw end of the stream. I was just finishing those couple of bits off, and then I'm gonna actually go for a walk, for fun and for fitness. So yeah, I'm still working out technical kinks and whatnot, but yeah, and we'll go from there. I can't stream Wonderdraft either. I really wanted to stream Wonderdraft, but it's very resource heavy. I can stream and be doing Wonderdraft, but not at the same time. Thank you, Torchwood. I will. I'll be back on Thursday afternoon Brisbane time, to finish all this off. So hopefully it'll be lovely to see you there. We can hang out. Thanks for being here, and I'll catch up with you next time. Cheers.